Hello everyone, welcome back to Too Much, a confessional and reflective video podcast for the girls who grew up being told that they were too much, too opinionated, too insensitive, too dramatic, too curious, too jealous, too romantic, too hard to love, too emotional, and suspected that maybe the whole time they were just paying more attention than everybody else. My name is Emma Grace and I am your host, and I live to put your feelings into words and make you feel seen and related to. For those of you that are new here, every week on YouTube I make a video podcast talking about something that I'm passionate about, and at the same time I actually drop a column on Substack talking about the same topic but going into more anecdotal experiences on my end from my past. I don't LARP on that here, but on Substack, I literally dive into the depths of the diaries that I used to keep in middle school. I swear, I go way back. So if you want to check that out, if that's something that you're interested in, it is linked below. If you've seen my face before but never on this platform, then you probably know me from TikTok and Instagram, where I make short form content talking about basically all of the same things. We have a lot of fun over there, so if you haven't seen me there, please check me out. As always, if you enjoy this video or if it resonates with you, please comment, please DM me, please like the video, share it with a friend, and subscribe so I can see you next Wednesday. Every podcast episode I do a yap session, and you can always skip ahead if you'd like. No hard feelings. I talk a lot. That's why I'm here. I talk too much. Duh, okay? But yeah, guys, I feel so much better about the LSAT. I pushed it back a month. I don't know if I can't remember if I mentioned this last episode, but I basically signed up for the August test, and I just had the grossest, sinking, disgusting feeling in my stomach, like the kind you get that when you're like not even on a roller coaster, just about to die in a car wreck. That's what I was feeling in my stomach. So I just had to delay it for a month, and I'm finding different study resources. I'm really trying new things, and I've made some good progress in the last few days that I've been doing a different kind of method, so I'm feeling good about it. For those of you that don't know, the LSAT is the law school admissions test. I don't even know where to, oh my god, I don't know why. Like, I asked my dad and I were talking about it the other day, and he was like, wait, it's not even like the bar, it's not even about the law, and I'm like, no, doesn't that make so much sense? It's basically like a critical thinking test, just to see if you can think. And apparently I can't. So today I'm sipping on there is coffee in here, by the way. I'm sipping on a warm cookie butter coffee. It's like not even a latte because I didn't put milk in it. I just put creamer in it. It's like coffee with cookie butter creamer and a little bit of cookie butter from Trader Joe's. But yeah, I'm drinking it out of my mug. And then also, I promised my boyfriend I would be drinking water, and he got me a new water bottle. So I kind of have to do that. You know, if he's gonna like be my financial sponsor for a goal, I kind of have to do the goal. I did agree to it. Obviously, you guys know I care about following through with what I say I'm going to do, otherwise I would not be talking about the topic in discussion today, which is don't let people disrespect you by disrespecting your time. I cannot wait to talk about this. I barely have a script, which is so unlike me for these videos, but I am so passionate about Gen Z not being sacks of crap. I'm so tired of Gen Z getting told that the best thing for you is to be hyper independent and not care about anything you say you're gonna do. We'll get into all of that. I had a video last year do extremely well for my channel, and it was about the I don't owe you anything mentality. This is basically like a part 2 or like a spin-off episode for that topic. However, it's very relevant to friendships. It's very relevant to your late teens, early 20s. It's very relevant to the demographic that I have been talking to for a few weeks now on the podcast. So don't worry, buckle up. We're going to get into it. If you haven't already, grab a coffee, grab a matcha. Hey, we're kind of opening up to matcha over here. Follow the TikTok. I have a series where I'm trying to brainwash myself into liking matcha, so if that's for you, that's for you. But yeah, grab your coffee, grab a snack, grab a matcha if you have to, grab a lemonade from Chick-fil-A, or hey, if you're like me, double up, get a coffee and a water, because you want to be hydrated. Stay hydrated! Please tell me you guys know that Addison Rae reference. Also, I got this mug at Home Goods. Everybody asks. I got it at Home Goods. Without further ado, let's get into the video. You guys know I always open up with a question or a hypothetical, so this is no different. Where do you think your definition of friendship comes from? Like, if you had to like go back and trace your definition of friendship or the conceptualization of friendship, where would you go? Most of us would probably think like, oh, our first friend, right? Or the first time we watched Blue's Clues or something. I would say nothing different. I think that's the exact right answer. I think that your first few friendships, along with some culture, which we'll get into later, but the first few experiences that you have of friendship define your idea of friendship as early as you can have one. And most people get their first friend before the age of 3, which is insane to me. But I think our preliminary definitions of what friendship is start really, really early on, and then that definition is then refined and solidified by our culture, by what we're taught in society. And so given these two components as to how we define friendship, I think it's super important to note and hold space for how important your first few experiences with friends can be. For example, my first best friend that I ever had was between the years of 3rd and 9th grade. It ended terribly, and the last half of our friendship was truly marked by distinct moments of disrespect of my time, my energy, her access to my life. I don't know why I didn't have any dignity. I just let her treat me that way. And looking back on it, I can often find this place of frustration, which is why did I settle? Why? Maybe you're watching this and you're in a friend group that's really bad, or you have a friend that treats you like crap, and you're I don't know why I'm settling. It's so frustrating. But if this is one of the most impactful experiences that you have with friendship, no wonder you're letting it really define you. That was my issue, is that I believed that the way she treated me was an accurate representation of what I deserved, because the whole time I knew in my gut that her ditching me to hang out with other people, or her ditching me just to sleep, or her never texting me at an appropriate time but then expecting me to always text her back, I knew those things didn't feel good. I knew they didn't. But because I cared about her so much, I let her treatment of me define how I perceived my own worth. And all of the things that I wanted from her began to look stupid. All of the standards that I had began to look absolutely ridiculous because she would never, ever meet them, and I cared and trusted her so much. And I think that this happens a lot to young women, especially because we're kind of taught to doubt ourselves. We're kind of taught that maybe we don't know what we're thinking, maybe we don't know what we're doing, maybe we don't know that we're being ridiculous. And so when we have a friend, even with another woman, who consistently disrespects us, wastes our time, uses our energy, or takes advantage of the access that they have to our lives, when we have a friend like that, it can create such a sense of doubt in us that is so not talked about, and that bothers me. It really does. We all define our concept of friendship and the kind of friendship that we deserve, the highest quality of friendship versus the lowest quality of friendship that we deserve. We kind of find ourselves in these margins because of our experiences and culture. And if our experiences firsthand aren't good enough and don't give us enough confidence as to what we deserve and what is safe to expect from other people and what is realistic to expect out of other people, then we're not set up to succeed in a culture that tells us every single day that empowerment looks like selfishness. If I had to define my idea of friendship, if you asked me in 6th grade, it would be very different than what I would say now. Or if I said, what's the best quality of friend I can get? My answer when I was in middle school would be so different than as a senior in college. I think most people can relate to that, but I don't think that has to be the case. A lot of my content has to do with the fact that it's okay to expect a lot out of other people and to not settle. And I think that if I had the opportunity to go back knowing everything I know now, I would have never settled for a friendship like that, because truly what that one experience did for me, that one pivotal, impactful, influential, defining experience did for me, was it set me up for almost a whole decade after the fact to believe that I didn't deserve friends who were going to show up for me, who were going to show up on time for me, who were going to do what they said they were going to do for me, who were going to be there for me when I needed somebody. I settled for almost a decade for flaky friends over and over and over again. And it was all because my earliest definition of what a good friend looked like, or what the kind of friendship I deserved looked like, the earliest definition that I got was that I didn't deserve anything better than that, because I didn't see anything better than that. And then the culture around me did not help, especially in 2020. We're going to get into kind of the chronically online take of what friendship should look like. It's abysmal. We're going to get into that next. But I want to drive the point home that no matter what your first experiences with friendship looked like, they don't have to define you. And they're not a perfect reflection of your worth as a person and your worth as someone who deserves good quality friendships. We know in our gut what feels right and wrong to us. We know in our gut what we can handle and what we can't in a friendship. And something that I have never been able to handle, even at the earliest, even at the first instance that it happened with one person in 5th grade, was I knew I couldn't handle someone bailing on me when they said they were going to be around. And I settled for it, and I continue to settle for it. Up until recently, I would continue to settle for friends who would do that to me, who would say, yeah, like, we'll get coffee soon, I'll text you later, I'll call you later, and they never do. And it's never because they're just so forgetful, it's because they don't think that their words hold enough weight. They have no reality check that they should be able to do what they say they're going to do, or they shouldn't say they're going to do something. At its worst, which I dive into this story time in my article, so if you're interested in my column, it's like a 5-minute read. I would implore you to go do that. But at its worst, I had a friend bail on me at a concert that was also for my birthday. Like, my mom took me and one of my friends to a concert for an artist that I didn't even really care for at the time. I just wanted this girl to be with me on my birthday. And at that concert, she tried to cancel the birthday sleepover. So we just left. It was a whole thing. I get into the story time in the column, truly. It's sad. But that really told me the point of that experience in the back of my head where my insecurities live is you don't deserve a friend who's going to show up for you. Your standard of friendship is ridiculous. It doesn't matter that you'd never treat somebody like that because everyone's going to get to treat you like that. And that is so problematic for young women. And I think that's why so many people are forced into this pessimistic, oh, I'd rather not attitude when making friends in their late teens and early 20s. Young women need strong friendships. If you are set up in a position without strong friendships, you are at a disadvantage and you're never going to convince me otherwise. You're never going to convince me otherwise. You're never going to convince me that having good friendships is impossible or unnecessary. That is something I will never believe. I'm never going to sit at the table that's like, oh, I don't need friends. Yeah, okay. Okay, you can have fun at your table for one, and I'm gonna go keep socializing, okay? Like, we're gonna approach this with optimism in 2026 because it is too hard to go through life, to go through dating, to go through careers, to go through jobs, to go through family struggles, to go through adulthood without a strong sense of support, without a strong female support system. Women are designed to have friends with one another. You're never gonna convince me otherwise. Men are too, I don't really make videos for you guys, so sorry. I feel like I've successfully painted the picture of how important your first few experiences with friendship are, but I keep saying it's solidified with culture, it's refined with culture, it's concentrated through the cultural lens of what friendship is defined as in today's world. What do I mean by that? Let's get into how the culture of friendship in 2026 is abysmal. Abysmal. Disgusting. I would never advise anybody that I loved to listen to what the self-care baddies on TikTok would tell you about what it means to be a good friend or have a good quality friendship. The glorification and glamorization of being low maintenance in your friendships and dating relationships in 2026 is disgusting. I'm never, ever, ever gonna fall for that. I'm never falling for that. What do you mean? What do you mean low maintenance? No! What all that means to me is crappy. All that means to me is bad. All that means to me is something I want nothing to do with. I don't want to be low maintenance. I don't want friends who are low maintenance. I don't want my boyfriend to be low maintenance. My future husband someday is not low maintenance. My best friend, my future maid of honor, the girls that I hope to live my life next to, when I think of them, they're not low maintenance. Expectations are not toxic. Expectations are not toxic. It is not toxic to expect something from someone, and it's also not toxic to have someone in your life who expects something from you. That's how you build trust. That's how you build security. That's how you build deeper connections and relationships with people. The culture in 2026 will tell you that empowerment looks like selfishness. Say no to every single plan that you want to say no to. Don't worry about following through with things. You don't have to go to that party that you said you were going to go to if you don't want to last minute because girl boss, you need your beauty sleep. No, I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it. I'm just not. The internet is telling people, young people, right now, that they don't know anybody anything. That it's okay to cancel last minute for your mental health 100% of the time that you want to. That you don't actually need to follow through with any of the commitments that you've either made on paper or off the record, okay, just implied, which still count, by the way. I don't want to see this argument of well, I never actually said that I was going to show up, blah, blah, blah. Okay, if you have a routine that you've consented to, that you've coincided with, that you have made the other person reasonably assume that they can count on you for something, and then you pull out of that commitment, they find out that they cannot count on you the hard way, you are a crappy friend. But also, you're doing exactly what the culture in today's world tells you to do. One thing about me is I don't care what the culture tells me. I'm going to do what I know in my heart is right. And I would never, ever benefit from a message or a societal conditioning that I don't owe people things. That my time is not something I need to offer the people that I call my friends. That my energy is not something that I am required to invest in the people that I claim to care about or love. Yeah, your friendships suck in 2026 because all you're doing is listening to the culture. All you're doing is listening to society tell you, oh no, we don't owe people things. Yes, we do. I don't want anyone around me who doesn't believe in expectations and following through with things. We all internalize the I don't owe you anything mentality, and I would argue that it got super terrible over COVID when the hyper popularity of deeply exaggerated mental health problems came to be. I'm not somebody that doesn't believe in mental health problems. I'm a neuroscience major at a liberal arts college. I have had my own mental health problems. I have tried medications for them. I've tried therapy for them. I've tried treatments for them. I know about mental health problems firsthand, and also what it's like to be best friends with someone experiencing those things as well. To be in a dating relationship experiencing those secondhand from the person I'm in a relationship with. I know enough about mental health problems to say that when they became hyper popular on social media, especially with young people especially, and everyone was sitting at home self-diagnosing, feeling lonely. Like, okay, no wonder a quarantine made us all miserable. We were alone. No wonder. But as that died down and as the world went back to normal, we should have left that in the back of the closet. But unfortunately for most people, getting to say that you're too tired, that you're dealing with a mental health week, that you are trying to protect your peace, all of these buzzword phrases that you got in a hashtag section of somebody's post on TikTok, all of these things are ridiculous and are still being used as a crutch in today's world. If this is hard for you to hear, I would ask that you would keep an open mind and just sit with me for a second. Is it fair for you to inflict your problems on somebody else when you could do something else? Like, if you have something that's actually causing you to miss out on an obligation that you've made to somebody and it's a real excuse, that does not apply here. I'm talking about the friend that you have who might be a little bit down on their luck or something, or went through a breakup or whatever, or has a lot of stress with school, or just has what everyone else deals with in life that's on their plate, and they make plans with you, they never show up. They tell you that they're sorry, they never change. They tell you they're going to stop gossiping about you, they never do. They tell you they're going to be more honest with you, they never are. I'm talking about those people. I'm talking about the excuse after excuse after excuse, because every single person has very real problems. I've never, ever, ever met somebody who's not going through something. And sometimes I do think that us being locked up in our houses during a lot of our developmental years, like I was 14 when COVID hit. How old were you? A preteen? That's impactful. That's our developmental years. I think a lot of us having access to the internet, being told that everybody's got some mental health issue that's going to stop them from doing what they need to do, getting used to being by yourself, getting used to having all of your excuses affirmed by everybody around you on the internet, all of that is enabling the kind of people in 2026 who are just selfish enough to benefit from the system that gives them a crutch. It's a lack of accountability. We have to talk about who benefits from this. The I don't owe you anything culture and the protect your peace at all costs culture is selfishness disguised as empowerment. I'm going to say that again. It is selfishness disguised as empowerment. You are not empowered because you cancel on your friends all the time. You are not empowered because you don't know how to say yes to people who only ever say yes to you. You are not empowered because you don't prioritize anybody in your life. You're not empowered for putting yourself first 100% of the time. And if you're watching this and you're like me and you've experienced the butt end of this, let's talk about who suffers from a society that says, oh, you don't owe anybody anything, protect your peace. Because me and you? Why would we be interested in something that we would never do to somebody? That's one of my bigger points here, is a system like that benefits people who are selfish and hurts people who care about their word, who give a crap about doing what they say they're gonna do off the record or on the record. It doesn't matter. I don't want to see anybody in this comment section be like, oh, well, I didn't always promise to spend every Tuesday night with my friend, but if you've gotten dinner with your friend every Tuesday night for the last 6 months, then yes, you did. Or if you call each other best friend and then you talk about them and then leave them out and make them feel bad and waste their time and you're late to everything and you cancel last minute and you treat people as if you come first and your needs win over theirs every single time, That is an off-the-record commitment that you made that is just as valid as an on-the-record commitment. Also, a huge thing that I've noticed that I've received is just lies as to why we can't hang out. Like, something always happens. It's never true. Like, I'm so glad that I can confidently say that I'm not in a place where I'm settling for people who treat me this way, but I have had to fight tooth and nail to go against my own insecurities and the first few impressions of friendship that I had and culture, everyone around me telling me that I'm crazy or that I expect too much, to get rid of these kinds of people. The people who benefit from a system like this and a culture like this are the people who are selfish enough to win. And that, by proxy, creates us who feel like losers. And last time I checked, you're not a loser, and I'm not either. So being around friends that make us feel that way, or even boyfriends, okay, guys do this just as bad. I'm just in a happy relationship, so it's not as, like, on the tip of my tongue as it would have been if you asked me when I was 15, okay? But truly, men are just as bad. Like, if all of my friends have had this problem where a guy's like, oh, well, I didn't know you were going to be that upset, or whatever they say. Like, I don't even care about genuinely, I don't care about the excuses. The people who suffer from the system are the ones with the most intact moral backbone, and the people who win in this society, in this culture of, oh, we don't owe each other anything, this, like, girl boss mentality of putting yourself first at all costs in every single situation that you just decide that you need to on a whim at anybody else's expense, the people who win are the selfish ones, and you don't need to be around them, and you don't need to let them make you into one of them. Whatever you do, do not match these people's energy. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you 2 steps to completely eliminate this problem in your life. But now let's go to the case study. This is my favorite part of the video that I do. I love case studies. I feel like it's so fun. For those of you that are new, every single video I pull a couple case studies from pop culture, film, TV, media, whatever, that we can all probably relate to, that exemplifies the concept that I'm talking about. I feel like without rooting it in, like, an image that we're all familiar with, it can get a little bit kind of, like, convoluted and like I'm talking into the sky, but truly I'm trying to bring us back down to earth and really understand what this looks like. So if you've never seen Sex and the City, I'm sorry, that's our only case study today. If you want to skip, I'll skip. There's chapters, but also this is the number code for when you need to skip. But basically there's a scene in Sex and the City when Carrie and Miranda are supposed to get dinner at some bar, and Carrie ditches because Mr. Big is cooking her, like, a stupid piece of veal or something, and Carrie doesn't show up to dinner and also doesn't tell Miranda that she's not showing up to dinner, so Carrie basically stands up her best friend. And that evening, the bartender that served a grumpy Miranda was Steve. This has nothing to do with the video topic, but I hate Steve. And if Carrie was a better friend, there's a good chance that Miranda would have never given Steve the light of day, and Steve never would have felt comfortable preying on a very vulnerable, emotionally distraught woman. And I hate Steve, and I genuinely do think that Steve lobotomized Miranda. I think that Steve was the worst thing that ever happened to her. I think he's disgusting, and I don't think he knows how to wipe his rear end. So, for those of you that think it's funny to just, like, ditch your friends or to treat your friends like crap or to treat them like their feelings don't matter and their time is useless and to disrespect them constantly, by doing that, you might be pushing them into the arms of a man who is absolutely terrible for them and will ruin their life and then cheat on them in the spinoff. So anyway, that's fun. Like, truly, I do think that Steve sucks, but Carrie sucks worse for that. She really does. She constantly treated her friends as if their time was just useless and, like, completely lacking in value, which I think is bull. Like, I also, maybe this is because I'm an only child, but if I have plans for an evening, if I have an idea of how my day is going to go, if I have plans with somebody and then those plans suddenly get canceled, it's hard for me to bounce back and spend that time appropriately to benefit myself, especially if I got all ready or if I said no to other people to hang out. Like, I just really love schedules. And then also, if I block off the time and then don't get to use it, that's not optimal. I would have rather just never blocked off the time, because as an only child, there's so many things that I can find to do and, like, so many things that I can, like, navigate. Like, there was one instance in, I think it was my freshman or sophomore year of college, where I was hanging out with this one girl on Saturday, like, all day long, and every single night that week I was doing things that I would normally do on Saturday. Like, I usually clean on Saturdays, which is so, like, lame or whatever, but I know, like, it's rare that I'm not traveling on a Saturday for golf, because I'm a college golfer too. So, like, stay with me for a second. I was supposed to be home on this Saturday for the first time in a while, and we were supposed to hang out basically from, like, 10 in the morning till dinner. I was going to deep clean my room that day. I was going to vacuum, do dishes, all the things. Like, I was going to clean out my laundry. I was going to, like, really just do everything. I was going to go grocery shopping, restock everything, but I knew I couldn't do that because I was hanging out with this girl. So I stressed myself out all week long, after practice, after classes, after workouts, doing all my homework and doing the deep cleaning, one by one every day. And it must have been my freshman year, because I remember I had a roommate. That's when it was. I haven't had a roommate since freshman year, but I caused my roommate stress because I vacuumed at night when she was in the house, like when she was around, and she wouldn't have been on Saturday. Anyway, I bent over backwards. I changed everything in my week so that I could hang out with this girl on Saturday. Saturday morning, she texted me and she was like, hey, like, I'm just so exhausted from this week. I really want to stay in and have a self-care day. Canceled the day of. I never spoke to her again. I don't care. You're not going to convince me that my standards are ridiculous. I'm not buying it anymore. I have thought that for the last 10 years, and all it does is put me in situations where I'm unhappy and uncomfortable. I'm not buying this idea that I have too high of standards. It's too high of an expectation for you to just do what you say you're going to do or cancel with an ample, respectful time. Are you serious? Where is class? Where is decorum? Where is just general kindness and decency? Where is that? Because I don't care that you think you don't owe me anything. I don't care that you want to protect your peace. Do that without putting mine in vulnerability. Protect your peace all you want. Just don't do it at my expense. Don't do it at the expense of my peace, because clearly you are selfish enough to not understand that your actions have consequences, that your feelings are not the only feelings that matter, and I want nothing to do with you. Does that make sense? You should not want anything to do with these people. I'm tired. I'm so tired of it. There are two changes that you need to make up here to get rid of this problem for you in an instant. Obviously, they're going to be easier said than done, but these will eliminate your problem. If you can just switch to that mentality, you can fix this instantly. The first thing that you need to do is separate your value and your worth of your own standards from the treatment that you've received in the past, good or bad. From now on, it doesn't matter if your friends treat you like you're the frickin' Queen of England or if you're literally scum. It does not matter, because their treatment of you has no connection to how much you deserve in a friendship based on your standards and what feels right to you anymore. Doesn't matter. I have a best friend right now who treats me incredibly, and if she stopped one day, it would have no effect in the world on what I know in my heart I can gain from a friendship. So from now on, separate it. You no longer associate how you're treated with what you deserve. Your expectations are valuable because that's what feels right to you, and your gut feeling is one of the only constants that you'll have in your life. You're not stupid. So you know what a good friend looks like. And even better, I've never met someone with a standard in a friendship or relationship that they were not also willing to give. So common sense and the golden rule itself says if you're willing to invest that much, it's okay to expect that much. Obviously, I'm not like a huge fan of reducing friendships to this transactional, like keeping score kind of thing. But if that's what you have to do in the beginning to keep yourself safe from the fallacy of treating how people treat you and what you want out of a friendship with somebody as synonymous, that's what you have to do. If you're willing to give somebody something, it is fine to expect that back. If I know in my heart that I don't mind to call my girlfriends if they're going through something horrible, like a breakup or a bad family situation, until 3 a.m. when I have class the next day, if I know I'm fine with that when I need to, then I would be fine expecting that from somebody else. Does that make sense? But if I know that doing something like that would really bother me, then I have no right to expect it from somebody else, or I am just selfish. The first thing that you're going to do to eliminate this problem is to fully understand that what you want out of a friendship is valid on its own. And the way people treat you is not a reflection of what you deserve or what you're capable of getting from somebody else. The second thing that you need to understand is that if you don't fall in love with your own company, you're setting yourself up to settle every single time. If you can't be by yourself, then people will take advantage of that. If you can't be alone for weeks or months, people are going to take advantage of that. The grown-up mindset to have is to understand that if somebody is treating you poorly, leave and be fine not having a backup plan. Be fine being your own backup plan. When I think about the times in my life where I was the least comfortable in my own company, isolated away from everybody else and alone by myself with my own thoughts and nothing else, those were the times that I was being taken advantage of the most because everybody around me could sense that I needed them more than they needed me. Do not put yourself in that position. That's a failing position to have. That is an uphill battle for you every time, and it gives people an advantage to abuse their access to you that they do not have a right to have. Don't give people that power. Empowerment looks like being trustworthy, reliable, caring for people. Empowerment doesn't look like selfishness. Don't feed into that by giving people access to you because you have no other choice. Give people access to you and know that you can take it back at any second. Give people access to you and know that you can protect yourself better than they can. Give people access to you and know that if anything goes south, you're not going with it. Have a backbone. Chances are you are willing to go extreme lengths for the people that you love, which is a strength. Chances are you're smart, emotionally intelligent, caring, attentive, thoughtful. People don't need unlimited access to you. They will take advantage of you. They will continue to take advantage of you. They took advantage of me for a decade because I let this one bad experience from a girl who I met in elementary school and quit talking to before 9th grade. I let that and culture convince me and gaslight me into thinking that I wasn't worth all of the standards that I had, even though I was offering them to everyone that I wanted to be friends with. Even though I was putting in my investment first. Somebody out there is going to match your energy. Somebody out there is going to understand your standards and be okay with it. Somebody out there is going to be eager to find someone who is willing to invest in them like you are. Stop wasting your time on people who won't care. Stop wasting your time on people who will abuse that access. You deserve so much better. I really hope this video helped you. It's something that I'm very passionate about. I care a lot about this topic. I hate when people waste my time. I hate when people waste my energy. I hate when people abuse the access that they have to me. And I don't think anyone's talked about this that I've seen. So I'll just keep making videos that I wish I had 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I hope this helped you. If you have any thoughts, please comment them. If you have any advice, please comment. If you have anything to say at all, please comment. I look at all of them and I reply to most. I'll do my best. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It goes a long way with the algorithm. And as always, I'll see you next Wednesday. I love you so much and I hope you have a really great day. Bye.